nourish your Sigma grind set. At the Pre-Engineer Society, we are on a mission to empower aspiring engineers and other related professions. We emphasize bringing valuable information to you from health and medicine to space and physics, because when you create value, you make a change, an impactful change that has 100% value. Pre-Engineer Society, nourish your Sigma grind set. Without further ado, let us present the Pre-Engineers podcast. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the hot new science topics in engineering, space, and medicine. For this interview, we are joined by Lazarus, and he's going to be describing and explaining his engineering background. So, what engineering disciplines are you specialized in?
Well, I started as a mechanical engineer, studied in the late 80s, beginning 90s, and then I did some specialization in Germany in automation and automated manufacturing systems. Through the years, I've also worked in HVAC systems and building technologies. So it's not a standard engineering track. It's an engineering study which was extended with various add-on and specializations based on market needs.
So, what companies have you worked at?
In my career path, I followed my heart and I've changed 6 companies through the last 28 years based on having interesting jobs and projects. So I started working in a manufacturing company in Germany, doing manufacturing automation and usage of robotics, and then I moved more to building services within a big hospitality chain back in Greece. Afterwards, for another 5 years, I was working in a shipping company in the hospitality sector, and that was a quite interesting and different part, but still within the engineering content, the mechanical engineering content. Then I moved to Saudi Arabia, and I worked for around 6 years with a construction company doing construction and maintenance of big and 5-star facility installations. When I came back to Greece, I stayed for another 5-6 years with a big Danish facility services company, moving in the beginning of 2011 to Germany, working for an American building services facility company. And then my last job is within the European Patent Office in Munich. I've been responsible for all services and buildings for the German-speaking area. So a quite wide experience world in different countries, different companies, different tasks.
What have you done as an engineer? What is your greatest personal achievement?
Engineering is an applied science, and that makes engineering life much more interesting. But I would point out another part of engineering life, which is the team and the persons. So I consider as my positive input to the business in the various businesses I was worked in, the development of young engineers and young teams into people learned to work together to achieve their goals together, and having the fun and the happiness after leaving a business to have left behind people knowing how to work, how to deliver, and to consider engineering life very positively.
What is the most important part of being an engineer?
First of all is knowledge. You study, you get the foundations, perhaps you extend your studies through a master's or a PhD, and this is all about knowledge. But this knowledge has to be applicable to businesses, to needs, to projects. And the next important thing in the real business life is teamwork, is not only offering in the team, but also after a couple of years having team leader responsibilities to develop team leaders through the team. So practically, it's a continuous process of knowledge and development of personal character.
Did you change your career path and why?
Um, Engineering, like other studies and knowledges, have developed in the last 10, 20 years. In the past, you were starting and studying something, and you could use this along your life. The world development in the last 10, 15 years has shown that engineering needs also to be developed. You have a basis, but that's only the springboard. Then you have to continue in other areas of specialization. In my case, I started as a manufacturing and automation mainly engineer, but then I discovered that it's more important to have in mind the system, not one tool, but the whole system. And since I had um, to move on a family level, I changed my overall engineering path towards building services. So it was not a totally different change, but still a development based on business needs. And I think in the future, engineers need to be even more flexible and more adaptable, not making a 180-degree change always, but for sure being flexible. And the modern word for this is being agile.
What is your work style or thought process?
Um, my work style developed also through the years. I used in the beginning uh, working more as a sole person and delivering, and then I developed myself to a team player and to a team leader. Um, as after 28 years of experience, I would say that it's critical for the engineering life for an engineer. First of all, to understand what he has to do as a person, as a team. The second is to build up a strategy. Where do we want to move? The third part is to build a team or to have a team and make the team believing and trusting this strategy and then leading through the strategy. And one of the most important parts of this leadership is listening to the team, picking up the points, picking up the ideas, construct an idea in the end, and leading them towards the solution, not losing too much time, not being stubborn. And in the end, the result is, in most cases, was a success. So teamwork is the important stuff. Listening is very important, but having a clear strategy and pushing this strategy through, because engineering is not only technical stuff, means also costs money, and that is very important for the companies.
What is your personal favorite engineering topic?
All right, I will call it the asset management. Asset management is how you can put together the assets of a company, of a building, of an installation, to evaluate them, to proceed in calculating the lifetime, to decide on a make or buy decision. That means assets are money, are valuable things for a company. So my preferred, let's say, currently my preferred path is to have those assets uh, written down in specific programs to evaluate their lives, to evaluate their capacities, and making decisions on replacing assets and systems. This is quite important in the building sector, since working life and personal life in the building is depending on assets. Assets meaning there, just a quick input, buildings, mechanical equipment, electrical equipment, IT equipment, everything that adds value to a building.